Aye, 3-1 defeat Loughgall today. Just give us your thoughts.
I think the result's harsh, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's a 3-1 game. I think for large parts, particularly in the first half, we were the better side. But at this level, if you don't take advantage of moments when you're on top, you'll never be on top for 90 minutes. And when they maybe got their chances, they're able to be clinical and take them, and that's ultimately the difference in the game.
In terms of after we equalised, it's maybe disappointing didn't push on and go and grab a second.
Yeah, well, that was the hope. The game probably had another goal in it, and we were hopeful it was going to be for us. But once they got it, it's probably more disappointing. Once they got it, was that we weren't able to then have the reaction to go and equalise. To be fair to Loughgall, they managed the game quite well. We maybe played into their hands slightly, but we didn't give ourselves the opportunity to put them under pressure to go and equalise.
I had a bit of a purple patch sort of early in the towards the end of the first half, but sort of like numerous times this season we've had purple patches being on top, just haven't converted that into goals. I mean, is that the way you see it as well?
Absolutely, and that's what we talked about. You know, the top end of the pitch is the most difficult end of the pitch, but it's where the players that we have need to show their quality that we believe that they do have, and they've shown it in glimpses. But as I said at the start, once you're on top of teams, particularly in this division, it's unforgiving. So you've got to capitalise on moments and chances and really get goals in them purple patches, as you alluded to. To be fair, the keeper's probably made a couple of good saves from strikes outside the box, but it's more once we got down the sides of them and in behind, it's pass selection or decision making, or that final pass hasn't been good enough, or whether it's we haven't got attackers in the positions that we need to. There's obviously an element of luck with it as well, but I think if we keep doing the right things, our luck and everything else has to change. But certainly that's what we've talked to with the players, is that once we get into them moments, we have to be sort of try to slow the game down. I think we're getting a wee bit excited, and that's why we're not making good decisions.
Do you think there's nothing in the first half, and I'm not sure who it was from where I was, there was possibly a call for a penalty?
Yeah, well, I think the first one, I think is Adam Carroll going through, and although we're far away and I haven't seen it back, for all intents and purposes, Adam gets the wrong side and he's taken down. And it's the explanation of that decision that's the most frustrating thing, and that's happened a couple of times this season, whereby the explanation is it's accidental contact from behind. And I'm not a referee, I don't try to be. I know it's a thankless task, and I try not to criticise them, but it's the excuse mechanism for the decision. I think if there's contact at all on the pitch, accidental or deliberate, it's a free kick or a penalty in that instance, and that's not the first time we've been given that sort of excuse or the decision around not giving the decision. I don't know how to put it into words, but what I'm saying is I think it's difficult, but if they make a mistake, don't compound the mistake by essentially coming up with, if you have to justify a decision, I think there's something wrong with the decision that you've made. And again, I'm not ultimately saying that they've cost us, but certainly the first goal was going to be huge, and we alluded to a good first half performance, and if we go ahead, the game could have been different. I'm not saying it would have been, it could have been different.
Just lastly, Lauren at home next week, 5:30, of the champions coming to town. If you can put in a performance maybe more like the Coleraine, the first half of the Coleraine game, is that sort of maybe more standing in better stead than some of the performances there today?
Yeah, absolutely, and we've talked again to the players about being better on both boxes. I think in the middle third we're as good as anybody, but again, players are taking responsibility for the goals we conceded. I personally thought there was a wee bit of quality from Loughgall in the first two particularly, but it's good players are taking responsibility, and equally players doing better at the other side of the other end of the pitch, and that's what we're hoping for, is that we can do better defensively and probably do better in the attacking third as well.